Alrighty, OGK here, Mr. Shadow. This is your 667 here, and pretty much you was having some problems with this thing overheating on you, and you took the driver section out, which I have right here in a bag that you sent with it. And went ahead and knocked out the power wire upgrade for you all the way to the back of the transformer. And the reason why, after this modification was done, not too sure who done the modification, but they did not completely convert it to a Texas Star 500, and that's why it's running hot on you. It's not tuned correctly, and there's the bias is not done correctly, which is slightly a bit dangerous. This biasing resistor right here is the biasing resistor so that this section and the driver section can both share the same bias. So as soon as that driver section was took out and this bias resistor wasn't changed, it throws off to where the bias current going to these two transistors are going to be different than these. So that, in conjunction with the wrong tuning capacitor, loading capacitor for the input splitter, and plus a couple of other things over here that needs to be changed, that's why it was running hot on you. And for the radio that you're going to be running with this, it does need to be in a 500 configuration. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is convert it to a 500 for you, do the full conversion. We're going to take this wire off right here too and replace it with some coax. That's a little bit of a run right there. It's just a 100 ohm wire connection. It'll be a lot better to use coax from this point over here to there. And that's another thing too. This right here is in the wrong place. It's supposed to be over here, but there's probably about 6 to 7 more steps that needs to be done in the conversion process from a 600 to a 500. And I'll just leave the front faceplate on it for you. You didn't request me putting a 500 faceplate on it, but if you ever do want to put a 500 faceplate, it's very simple. You just pull this knob off, undo the bolt right here, unsolder these two connections right here, and it'll slide straight off. And then you can remove this. I see there's a little bit of glue holding it down, but you can remove this. And this and this nut on here is the only thing that keeps the front on. And when they're put on properly, that's all it really needs to hold on. So all right, man. So that's why this thing's been running a little hot on you. Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the conversion, and got your fan kit right here. I've already got your fan kit ready to go. You got your top over there drying. I went ahead and put some primer on it and sprayed it down. And so it's going to look real nice, man. Really nice. All right, we'll be back with the full conversion done. And let you see this bad boy working with the fan kit on it. We'll be back. All right, Mr. Shadow. Here's your baby. Now a Texas Star 500. We got the fan kit on it for you. Custom built fan kit. And then put the sticker for you back there. That's where your fan plugs in at. And then put the fresh paint job on the top lid and the bottom for you to make a match. And paint the inside for you too. So as you can see, man, there's quite a bit more stuff that needed to be done to convert this to a 500. I won't go into great detail. I'm kind of in a hurry right now. I've got to get on out of here, head on down the road. But I mean, you can tell there's a lot of things that's been taken out right here to do a pure 500 conversion. A couple of the padding resistors were taken out that were, you know, because when you go to a 500, you're going to a straight high drive amplifier at that point. So you know you need to take out some of them padding resistors that's in line for the 1 pill section for 667. I had to add a 10 microhenry choke right here. Somebody had took it up. I don't know why. Maybe somebody had blown it. So it wasn't even biased before. Pretty much was Class C. So I went ahead and got the right bias resistor in there for you. Both of them are exactly at 0.68 volts each. There's the plug for the fan right there. Just keep this box at no more than about 14.5, 15 volts at the most. The fans are not regulated. They're a little bit too. These fans right here are a little bit too powerful to put just a regulator in here. Later on for 500 circuits, I'm thinking about doing a custom circuit to where a pass transistor mounts right here, and you can have variable voltage for your fans. Put some big 0.78, big 0.75 amp fans that I've got, which are they can get loud, but basically give the person a variable. I ain't quite sure, figured out where I'll put it at yet, but I'll figure something out. Maybe even put the variable inside to where you just internally set where you want your fans at, and there you go. But anyway, man, this thing is working great. She's staying cool now. We got the right tuning capacitor, the input load for the splitter now. Another thing, the amp was missing collector to emitter capacitors. I don't know why they were missing. I could tell somebody had removed them, so the amp didn't come, without them. Those are these right here that you see right here. That I'm pointing to right there. There were none on the amp. So there's a couple of things here that was causing this amp to run hot, and she should run pretty cool now. She should run pretty cool now, no doubt about it. This thing is working great. So let's go ahead and put the 10 back on it. I'm gonna do this with 2 hands. Give me 1 second. This thing's got a fresh paint job, so before it cures, I don't want to be careful not to scratch it. All right, the bulb you sent for some reason just was not working. The bulb's good. I tested the bulb, but it just wasn't working. It just wasn't connecting good in the connector, so I went ahead and put another bulb in there for you to get the get that working for you. So there's the fans right there. They're not too loud, not too bad. About 0.5 amp fans, pulling about an amp. I mean, you can feel that air coming out real good. And most of the air is being pushed out to the back this direction, so you'll know wherever you put your amp at, don't disrupt that. Put it somewhere where that air can flow out this direction. You'll have a little bit of air in the front, but it's going to kind of take the path of least resistance in a sense, which is straight out the back through the fins of the heat sink. Alright, man, so a Texas Star 500 is supposed to do 500 watts with a 4-watt radio. Let's see what yours does. 1,000-watt slug. This is a 4-watt radio, which I'll show you real quick. 5-watt slug. Go, almost 4 watts. You see that? We're reading the middle scale where it says 50. 40 would be 4 watts. 50 would be 5 watts. So it just hit 4 watts. Okay. Turn that back down to reverse. Turn the box back on. Just leave it on high. Reading the 1,000-watt scale. So we're reading the bottom. 1,000-watt slug, excuse me, reading the bottom scale. This is on 14.5 volts, I believe. I got it on 15. That's fine. I could turn it down to 14.5, but yeah, it's at 15 volts. I like to turn that off whenever I turn it on, or I'll forget. It's got a battery power in it. So we're at 15 volts. Look at that, 600 watts, my friend. This is one of, I've done like 4 or 5 500s the last 2 weeks, and about the most I could get out of one just hitting it with a 4-watt radio. It's about 580. So this is about the more higher output 500, just, you know, looking at the PEP scale. Go right there at 600 watts, man. You take a look at the RMS. Go. Oh, 200 bird, man. Right there, dead nuts on 200 bird. This thing is working well. I don't know if you really, you know, I don't know if you want me to hook it up on a big supply, give it some good drive so you can see this bad boy do a kilowatt, which I do not suggest that you do or run it that way, but it's your amp. You can run it the way you want. If it was my amp, I'd probably run it just like what you saw just then, personally. You know, maybe hit it a little harder, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Let's see here. We'll unplug the hot rate. I forgot to show the input reflect. So that was the biggest thing. They had the wrong capacitor. Had a 390 picofarad capacitor on the input splitter, which is not supposed to be that. It's supposed to be a 330. We'll take a look at your input now. Barely any movement. Beautiful. That's the way it's supposed to look. That's the way it's supposed to look. Alright, we'll hook up the old hot radio here just to see the bird increase. I'll let you see. I'll let you see it doing something. I'm going to press pause. We'll hook up the old unreg supply. Because honestly, this power supply right here, this little servo supply is not actually big enough to run this box when you give the box some good drive. It kind of pushes that supply, you know, around to its max there. And I've got another 5 video to make after this real quick, so I think I might need the driver hooked up anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up. I'll be right back just so you can see this thing's doing what it's supposed to be doing on the top end of things. Them things look slick when you get that fan kit on there and put that paint job on there. I'm telling you, they really do. They really do. All right, I'll be back. Yeah, I tell you what, man, this unregulated supply, this thing is pulling, son. Like almost every single microwatt that's going in this box is being amplified and coming out. Alright, we're putting about 100 watts from the old epoxy 1 pill, first box I ever constructed. Alright. We're on the unregulated supply. It's floating at 18.3, but it will be dropping 13 something volts. It is sucking it dry on the medium tap. Alright, here's your RMS, just hitting it with that driver, which, like I said, I don't recommend you running it like this, but I'm just letting you see that it's got the top end output. Go, there you go, over 400 bird. That's over 100 bird per pill. That's RMS. Let's take a look at the peak. It ain't gonna be quite hitting a kilowatt because the power supply is being sucked. Go, about 950 watts. We'll take a look at the voltage drop. Go, 13.3 volts. I'm telling you, man, I'm gonna go ahead and flip it on the high tap back here. I do have the fans unhooked now since I am on an unregulated supply. Okay, I want to make sure to run these Texas Stars on regulated supplies. The only reason you see me doing this because I'm a little experienced when it comes to these things. I know what the supply is going to be dropping to, and I'm also just keying them quickly. I'm not staying on the key and talking. You know, this is just in the testing procedure. Alright, well, this thing's got a full 100 amps of current now if it wants to pull it. Let's see what the RMS is. Ooh, almost 500 bird. Let's take a look at the peak. Ooh, there's your kilowatt. 1,000 watts. Ooh, 15.2 volts. That's a bad little 500 right there, man. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you. That's a bad little cotton picker right there, man. Usually a 500, a lot of the times will only pull that supply down to about 15.5, 15.8. But that thing right there, it's sucking that supply down to its duty cycle. You got you a good amp right here, Shadow. We go ahead and put the screws in the top lid here and get it sent out to you. I asked you if you wanted Anderson connector power poles put on here, 175 amp, and you said no, that you already had some, so we won't put that on there for you. Turned out good, man. Turned out good. So I'll go ahead and plug that back in for you. And I hope you enjoy. Another Texas Star made 10/8 straight. Back working the way it should. This thing's going to stay good and cool, man. Since you got these fans on here now, it's going to keep that air constantly on it. And now it's done the way it should. So now you got a 667 sleeper. It says a 667 on the front, but it's a 500. Don't forget, if you do ever want to change that faceplate, you can jump on rfparts.com and purchase one if you wanted to. And it's and I showed you how you could put it on. All right, man. I appreciate you your patience too, man. I know it took me a little bit to get to these. I have these 400s, 500s, 667s filtering in here and leaving all throughout the week. I mean, it's amazing. This is the most produced amplifier in our hobby, bar none. There's more Texas Stars out there floating around than any other amp built, bar none. Because they started building them so long ago, and they're still building them now. That's why there's so many of these out there. We'll see you. 73's Gatekeepers clear. Bye-bye. Mr. Willard. Yo home, boy, Mr. Gatekeeper. Got this sweet fan kit. I know this chair is squeaking. I'm sorry about this. I was watching a video I made the other day, and I'm like, goodness gracious. I guess I done got used to it. I'm going to try not to move too much. I need to oil this chair up. God, that thing is annoying. Anyway, man, we got this thing sewed up for you. You got this amplifier for Mr. Give a shout out to him. Mr. Bullet from Mr. Bullet CB Sales. If we can't get that focused in there. Yeah, Mr. Bob. Mr. Bullet Bob. Out there at Bullet CB Sales. My buddy Willard got this 667 from him. And the reason why he did was he was looking for a 667 that had a Toshiba driver and an older style, 667 without the hybrid. And basically what he's needing is, he's basically needing a driver for a big box. That's all we're going to say. We ain't going to go into details of what it is. But his main concern was he needs 300 watts of dead carrier. He needs a 300 watt dead key to even key this box up. And he's having some issues running a 500 doing this with the setup he's running. So he was going to try 667 out since there's an internal driver. So we're going to see if I know what he's running radio wise. He's running about 14 bird, which is a little hot. That's why I'm just going to kind of go through here. I do want you to utilize your 75 ohm attenuator, all your attenuator circuits in this thing. I do want you to play around with that when you get the box to try to find that perfect drive level you're needing, but also attenuating a little bit of that drive. If you can attenuate some of that drive, since you got a big radio, if you can attenuate a little bit of that drive and still achieve what you're wanting, that's kind of what you're going to be wanting to do with this box, so you won't blow the snot out of it. We did a full power wire upgrade all the way to the back of the transformers, each for all three sections, as you can see. Just a routine upgrade now. Just about everybody is getting them now. If somebody sends in something and doesn't get it, it feels weird. That's how common it is now these days. But got the fan kit put on here for you, which is absolutely beautiful. These fan kits are beautiful, man, once you get them on there. And I always like to paint with some good Rust-Oleum black, the top and the bottom. It just sets them off. And there's your connector right there for your fan. And there you go. The reason why I had to go this route right here, because somebody had drilled a hole and it was a lot bigger than to mount a 1/4 inch plug or a 1/4 plug or whatever size that plug is. So I had to go this route, okay, which is no big deal. Just had to go a little bit of a different route. Got to use one of these string release, which I've been wanting to use. I hadn't had time to. It's a cool little string relief right here, man. It's made for smaller wires. I got cut off for some reason. Alright, so basically I didn't have to do much to the box. I got in here and I cleaned it up a little bit. Let's see here. I cleaned it up a little bit. I don't really know if I've done too much to the actual inside itself, other than no upgrade. I did clean it up a good bit. Oh, I had to change a biasing resistor. Which it wasn't a big deal. Just one of them things. I like to set them back to completely factory if I can. It just makes me feel better, honestly. So I changed one of the resistors to what it calls for factory, and you know, everything else looked good. I think Bullet Bob must have done this. He done a good job on it. This thing's rocking and rolling when I got it. He just needed that upgrade, that power wire upgrade done to it. Fan kit. He just wanted me to go through it just to make sure everything was good. So, alrighty. So this thing's tagged from Gatekeeper and Bullet Bob now. Alright, man. Let's go ahead and show you what it's doing with the 4-watt radio. Okay, I'm on the unregulated supply right now. I'm just starting off with that because I'm going to be hooking up the hot radio here in a second, and it's just too much supply. This supply is not big enough to hold this amp when I put the hot radio on it. Y'all just hang in there with me. I'm working on a little bit of stuff down here that's going to at least give me 150 amps, which I've attempted to tie 2 of them together. Actually, they're not quite working the way I want them to yet, so I'll have to play around with the current sharing method to them, but get it figured out. Alright, so let's see if we can achieve that 300 watt dead key. Now I'm starting off with a 4-watt radio. I know you're not running a radio that small, but I'm just going to start off with it. Alright, we're on high. Okay, so here's how much we're getting bird. Now this is a 1-watt dead key, okay? Which won't be completely accurate since we are unregulated. Come on now, focus. I hate it, man. Sometimes it does this. So we got about 180 watt dead key. Go, swinging up to about 280. Oh, okay. So we're nowhere near where you want to be right now with this radio. Go, input reflect looks great. Here's your peak watts. Ooh, almost 800 watts. That's dropping to 14.7 volts. Alright. Now, I'm not even going to play around with this radio. I could, you know, go turn my deck. You're not running a radio that big. Alright. Now I'm going to go to my hot radio, which still is not as big as the radio that you're running. But it will be bigger than what I'm running now. So I don't have a radio hooked up or even out here that's doing what your radio's doing. I think your radio's doing 14 bird. This radio's doing 4. This one I'm hooking up now is doing 8. And my next one over there I've got turned down doing 16, which is probably closer to what you're needing. Okay. I don't really want to hook that D-rail radio up to this box, to be honest with you. I really don't want to do that. I'm scared. If it was my own box, I would. I just really don't want to do that, man. Oh, so we're going to see if we can achieve what we're wanting to achieve with the 8-watt radio. So I'm going to adjust this dead key and get it up to 300 watts, and we're going to see what happens. We're going to see if we got some forward swing. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you, if we got forward swing with this radio, 8 watts, then you're in the clear. You're definitely going to have forward swing with your radio. All right, let's turn everything on. All right, let's see where we're at right now. Okay, let's see where we're at. You know what? To make this a little bit more accurate, I'm going to take this out. Excuse me. I'm going to take this out and put my 500 watt slug in. Where's it at? 500 watt. Where you at? There you are. We're going to take that out and put the 500 watt slug in so we can get a little bit more accurate. Alright, so we're reading the middle scale now, okay? 500 watt slug. Brand new slug, actually. Middle scale, so the 10's 100. Okay, so we're almost at 200 watts. So I'm going to turn my carrier up on my radio, which I don't normally do on my videos, so bear with me. I'm just going to ease up. I'm just going to ease, since I can't hold them both down. Okay, I'm going to go up a little bit more. Alright, we're right there. I'm going to go back a little bit. Alright, that's 300 watts. See, a little bit over 300. Alright, let's see if we got some forward swing, man. Oh, yeah. We got a little bit. We got a little bit, not much, but we got a little bit. Oh, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and back that back just a little. Dude. So she's keying about 300. Swinging about 380, almost 400. But let's see what the supply is doing. So the supply is dropping to about 14 volts. Oh, just for the heck of it, I'm going to reach back here and put it on the high tap, which is going to be a bit higher in volts. I find out some 667s will do the same amount as a 500 with a driver. Some. Most of the time I find out that ain't the case. I can get more output out of a 500 using an external driver. But 667s definitely do have their place, no doubt about that. Alright. I'm going to have to turn my dead key back down now. Yeah. Alright, we're at 300 watts, okay? I'm just going to do a quick swing. I ain't going to try to stay on it like this. I'm sorry about this shadow, y'all. I'm going to get my butt and my dang into an actual shop here soon, man. Ooh, good God almighty. That thing's swinging 500 bird. Yeah, I don't think you're going to have a problem. Let me see what his voltage is dropping to. Ooh, voltage is dropping to 15H, which is quite hot. I'm not going to key it up no more. I just don't want to even risk hurting the amp, man. But she is doing 500 watts. Well, I'll show peak just for the heck of it. Let's see what this 667 is doing, y'all. We're going to do this real quick now. Well, we got the 500 in. Just pegged the 500. Hold on, let me put the 1,000 in. 500 bird out of a 667. Alright, I got the 1,000 back in now. Almost 1,000 watts. See, I told you. Sometimes I can get more peak watts out of a 500 than a 667. That's just the way it is. You can go into many reasons why that is. I ain't gonna get into it. All right, big brother. Well, I think this might work for you because this thing's swinging. Now look, let me explain something to you, Willard. You saw I had this thing swinging 500 bird, hitting it with a hot radio. Now, of course, with your radio, it's going to be doing more than that. But I do want to ask you to play around with your attenuators. Meaning, start off like this. Just start off like that. And just see what you can do. Just see what you can do. While you're doing that, you may want to feel around here and make sure these resistors ain't getting too hot, you know. Right now, this thing's cool as a cucumber. I ain't staying on the key long with it or nothing. And then, see, this right here is going to be your low, okay? You got different power levels with this, you know. That's going to be your low. It's going to be medium. That's going to be medium high. And then high. So play around with the different combinations. Because you're going to be putting a lot of drive in this thing. We want to get that, as you see just then, with 8 watts drive, with all the current it needed, all the current it wanted with the unregulated supply, even though it was at 15.8 volts or so, that is a little steep. You don't want to go that high in the volts. See if you can get the same outcome with your attenuators in. At least bare minimum, the green button in. Bare minimum. That's putting the 75 ohm in. This 75's ohm in with it and everything, and that 10 ohm and all that. We won't get into all that. But anyway, see if you can achieve it with a green button in. Okay, at least. At least. And I want to say good luck to you. I'll go ahead and put this top on here. Let you see it with the top. I need to go put your ring terminals on for you. Oh, you know what? Here, hold on a second. Let me unhook it from here. Hook it up to here. Bear with me. Hook it up to here and here. And let you hear your fans. Get it on the unregulated supply. There's your fans on there. And I mean, they are blowing, buddy. You can feel them all the way back here. Most of the fan exhaust is going to be coming out of the back. So keep that in mind when you put this amp in your car or whatever you put it in. Make sure the back is not covered up. Okay, make sure it's got enough room for the air to flow out of the back. I mean, that's pushing some air. You'll have a tad bit coming up here, but I mean, not even, I can't hardly feel any. I feel just a tad bit. But, you know, it's going to take the least path of resistance. So, it's flowing out the back. So, get them, oh yeah, this is a new top. Okay, this is a new top. This bottom was the one that was on top, I believe. Yeah. This bottom, no, you know what? I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the top that was on here was one of them flimsy covers, and that isn't this. I think I've got another top to cut this for you. So, but this is a brand new top. RF Parts is out of them, by the way. I don't know when they're getting back in them. And we got the new lens covers right here. Okay, I put all new lens covers on there for you. And did I have to put a new meter? No, I didn't. That meter was good. I think I put a new knob on there for you. I honestly can't remember right now. I know I put new lens covers on there for you. You wanted me to pretty much make this thing look brand new. She looks great, man. There's your power cable. I think I'm going to start doing my fan kits like this now. I basically have pushed them back just a tad bit so this fan's not poking out the front at all. Some of the first fan kits I did. And as you can see, there's a tad gap. Just a little bit of a gap in between the top and the bottom. And that's the only reason I've been using them thin fans. These fans right here. That's the only reason, because I was wanting these two to touch. But now I see how it looks, and this looks great. This doesn't look bad. And you get double the airflow. So I'm going to start doing it like this now, so you can have double to triple the airflow than using those real thin fans. because that looks great. And I thought it'd look bad, you know, having a little gap in there, but it don't. It looks great. It's definitely adds some weight to the box, no doubt about it. But if you ask me, man, this adds some value to these boxes, putting these kits in there, because these kits are made by hand, man. I had to literally cut these holes with a dang hole saw, and that's just steel. This ain't aluminum. And you can see, here's a fan kit right here. You know, those are cut by hand. They're mounted by hand. The feet's mounted. Everything is done by hand. I don't have any special tools to help me do that quicker, which when I do get some hydraulic punches and stuff, I'll lower the price on them. But until then, these fan kits are $120 installed. I know that seems a little steep, but it's a little work making these things. It really is. It really is. I may work a deal out for some people at times. You know, if they're getting a lot of other stuff, I may drop it to a bill, to $100. But, you know, if you go look at fan kits for Sweet 16s, the things ain't cheap. They really ain't. You know, the cover's 20-something bucks. The fans are, you know, $14, $15 a piece. Feet are $1 a piece. You know, you got all the labor, cutting, drilling, you know. And, all right, let me get on out of here, man. I hope you enjoy it, Willard. This thing's going to Bermuda. Bahama. Come on. All right, let me get on out here, man. Old gatekeeper said it. I'm going. Bye.